So, what in the world does a single cell have to do with social justice? Well, in today's explainer, we're diving deep into reproductive health, and you're going to see how it connects the microscopic miracle of life to the very structure of our societies. To really see why this is about so much more than biology, let's just start with a powerful, real world example. Take the state of Kerala in India. It has achieved the lowest maternal and child mortality rate in the entire country. And that's not just a statistic, right? That represents countless lives saved and so many healthier families. So you have to ask, what's the secret? How does a whole region pull off such an incredible public health success? It's definitely not just one thing. Turns out it's a really powerful mix of factors. A high literacy rate among women, that's like the cornerstone. It gives them more control over their own health. Then you back that up with excellent healthcare centers and smart public health projects. And when you add access to proper nutrition and education to the mix, you create a foundation where society truly lifts up its mothers and its children. And that success story right there brings us to our first big idea. This deep, deep connection between a person's health, their individual rights, and what we call societal justice. So getting to those better health outcomes, like we just saw in Kerala, it forces us to look beyond the clinic, beyond the hospital, and ask a much bigger question. What does gender justice actually look like in practice? Well, when we break it down, gender justice really rests on several key pillars. It starts with an equal right to education. It means equal pay for equal work, which is all about economic independence. It also means shifting those old societal norms, so family care isn't just one person's job. And it extends all the way to equal opportunities in leadership and, this is a big one, the freedom to travel and just move through the world safely. Now, to really get a handle on all this, it's so important that we clarify two fundamental terms that get confused all the time: sex and gender. Okay, let's break this down. It's actually pretty straightforward. On one side, you've got sex. This is purely biological. We're talking chromosomes, hormones, and physical traits. But on the other side, you have gender, and that's a social construct. It's all the roles, the behaviors, and the duties that a society decides are for men and women. So one is biology, the other is culture. And this is where that abstract idea of a social construct really clicks into place. Gender is shaped by these unwritten rules, these prescriptions, like telling little boys they shouldn't cry, or telling girls there are certain jobs they can't or shouldn't do. See? Those aren't biological rules. They're social ones that we all learn. This whole journey of understanding our bodies and our place in the world gets incredibly personal during one key phase of life: adolescence. And what kicks off this whole phase? A biological process called puberty. So this is the stage when semen production starts in boys and menstruation begins in girls. It's a time of just profound physical and emotional change, and it marks that huge transition from being a kid to becoming an adult. So what's actually going on inside the body? Well, the reproductive organs are growing and developing. For girls, this means ovulation and menstruation get started. For boys, semen production kicks in. And all these physical changes, naturally, bring up a lot of curiosity, and sometimes a bit of anxiety too. It's a huge transformation that can be both really exciting and, let's be honest, kind of confusing. Okay, let's shift gears now. We're going to move from that personal journey of adolescence and zoom way, way in, all the way down to the microscopic blueprint of life itself, from a single cell to an embryo. And this brings us to one of the most incredible questions in all of biology. How on earth does a single fertilized egg cell transform into a complex, multicellular baby? The process is just wow. It's truly remarkable. And this image shows us that amazing journey. It all starts over here in the ovary with ovulation. That's the release of an egg. From there, the egg travels into the fallopian tube, which is where it might meet a sperm and get fertilized. If that happens, this new fertilized egg, now called a zygote, starts dividing and dividing as it makes its way toward the uterus. So let's just walk through this incredible first week. Step 1, fertilization. A single cell called a zygote is formed. Almost right away, it starts dividing. That brings us to step 2, where it becomes a solid little cluster of cells called a morula. You can kind of picture a tiny raspberry. Then, by step 3, it develops into a hollow, fluid-filled structure called a blastocyst. And then, the final, absolutely crucial step, implantation. That's when the blastocyst attaches to the wall of the uterus, and that is the moment a pregnancy officially begins. So once that implantation happens, an amazing support system starts to develop to protect and nourish the growing embryo. Let's take a look at what goes into a healthy pregnancy. Here you can see the fetus developing safely inside the uterus. But it's not just, floating around in there. It's connected to this incredible temporary life support system that gives it everything it needs to grow. This whole system has three main parts. First up, the placenta. It's a temporary organ that acts like a bridge, delivering oxygen and nutrients from the mother that's connected to the fetus via the umbilical cord. And all of this is cushioned by amniotic fluid, which surrounds the fetus, keeps it from getting dehydrated, and protects it from any bumps or shocks. This whole 9-month journey is broken down into 3 stages called trimesters, and each one has these major developmental milestones. In the first 3 months, the heartbeat begins and little limbs start to form. Then, during that second trimester, fetal movement can often be felt, and features like hair and eyelids develop. And finally, in that last trimester, the lungs finish growing and the baby gains a lot of weight, getting ready for birth. Okay, that biological support system for the fetus is incredible, no doubt. But what about the support system for the mother? Her health is absolutely 100% critical to this whole process. And this is where good antenatal care is just so important. And it's about so much more than just biology. Of course, it includes a balanced diet and getting enough rest, but it also means regular medical checkups. And, this is huge, having that emotional support from family and from health workers to help navigate all the changes that come with pregnancy. And this brings us right back to where we started. We began by seeing how careless success was built on supporting women and children. We've journeyed through the biology of sex, the sociology of gender, and the flat-out miracle of development from a single cell. So we end with this question to think about. If a society's true health can be measured by how it treats its mothers and children, what is our next step?